Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode in my Aston Martin Road to Glory career mode, and we have a big one for you here today. So check out the last episode before we jump into this one, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Trust me, it was a cracker. For a home race, it was one of the better ones, so go check it out, link in the top right. But let's talk about this one and spoilers ahead. So as you can see on the left side of the screen, we have a double resource point batch before the next race. There's quite a gap, and in that time frame, we also have the contract renewal, which is going to be a real key point this season. So let's get into it and let's see what we can do. So usually I've gone for the low risk, but based off my performances, I've had 3 podiums this year. I'm going to put in a medium risk and hope that we get the A-OK. I was tempted to go high risk, but I don't want to push my luck too much. We actually had a medium one rejected last season, so it feels like Aston Martin are a bit, tough to negotiate with. So we'll go for the medium, and this time it goes through. It's signed. We had an issue this time last year with that contract. This time, no dramas, and we get $710,000 in the perk fund, which is a real key point. So we have development feedback level 1, which is a 10% increase of resource points, and best believe we're struggling to really make headway. So we're going to go ahead and get level 2, which costs over $500,000, and that is going to give us a 25% boost on the resource points, which should come into effect starting this weekend. So to go on top of that, we have all 3 upgrades that we were working on have all arrived, which only one of them really is performance related, and even though it's only for the DRS, which isn't that great. Anyway, those 3 out of the way, we can now get onto some actual performance upgrades, and we go for the engine power, which is going to help us out. We're already the best team there. We're going to basically extend our advantage, especially as we have the power circuits coming up soon. Austria, Spa, Monza, all up on the calendar very soon. We also done some more durability work to get rid of some of those upgrades that have basically a huge discount on them, because I want to try and get the discounts to apply somewhere else. Also, we got a 10% morale increase on the chassis based off the last episode's chassis department event, and confirmation that the oil pressure pump has also arrived for this race. So we're actually going to have 2 performance upgrades, 2 reliability upgrades, and to be fair, even the reliability ones are good because they are for the energy store and the control electronics, which we only get 2 of those for the whole season, so that's valuable. Anyway, this weekend, no rain forecast. However, oh my god, Ferrari just said, right, let me just wrap up this championship real quick, because they just brought a huge upgrade package, and McLaren have followed. What a turnaround from those 2 teams. We are now bottom yet again after being so close to being 5th at one point. We're back down to the bottom. However, if you take the kind of line of Mercedes downwards, the field has basically just compromised a lot, and we've got very close. So even though we're bottom, it's not really telling the full story, because the whole field has basically really got compressed, besides Ferrari, who are doing their own thing. Anyway, first practice session with the new contract and the new resource point bonus, and we're going to see what effect that has in a moment once we go into the kind of overview of the points scored. But we had a flawless session, car working very well, tyre wear decent, fuel consumption decent, so we'll take that into account for the race. And yeah, let's talk about those extra R&D points. So as you can see, we pretty much bagged 1,000 points in practice alone with me and Stroll's combined totals, which is incredible. So that's much more like it. That's what I'm talking about, and that's the kind of points haul we need to really kind of level up and push forward here, because especially, as you know, in this career mode we have our own R&D points set to reduce compared to the AI who are on default, so we're kind of at a disadvantage, and that's part of the challenge of this series, to make it harder for myself so that I don't get to the front straight away. So that's a real big bonus, and we can get 1,000 every weekend in practice alone. Then stacking on top of that, you get the bonuses and also qualifying and race bonuses. It could make our productivity a lot higher. Anyway, qualifying time. Yuki Tsunoda pretty much ruined my first lap. He left the pit exit, didn't stop, joined into the racing line, didn't get out of the way for the first couple of corners, and I was kind of annoyed, so it distracted me a little bit, and I wasn't really focused heading into turns 3 and 4, so I invalidated by basically just driving in frustration. So we took the rest of the lap to kind of cool off the tyres and try again, and I actually found over 2 tenths in turns 1 and 2 alone on that second lap, so that's how much time we lost behind Yuki. Then the rest of the lap was really good, by the way. This was a very, very solid banker, you know, for my standards. I'm not the best qualifier, but this was a very good first lap, and we're going to see exactly where we're going to be as we head up to the line. Looks like a 130.0 ahead of Stroll and Schumacher, behind Tsunoda and Bottas. To be fair, 7 tenths behind Tsunoda, but as you can see, our first bankers are in. Leclerc is the outlier, he's a bit out of position. Seb and Schumacher, to be fair, also their lap times aren't fully accurate. So we're 3 tenths off Zhou Guanyu. Realistically, it seems like we're at the bottom here. Stroll is the only car slower than us on a proper lap, so I don't know if we'll get through, but we'll give it a shot and we'll try and do our best. So, turn 1, turn 2, there was a bit of an issue with Tsunoda. We gained 2 tenths after, and on this lap, again, we're going to find even more time. I actually sacrificed turn 1 a little bit to get a bit more overall corner speed, and that seemed to work out for us. Into now the right left of 3 and 4, staying nice and tight, finding a bit more time as we now feed it through 5. Into 6, try to avoid the inside curb and get the power down as soon as possible. And then through 7, flat out onto the Mistral straight. DRS wide open, and we're now going to bring the car over to the right, spot the 100-meter board. I'm going to take this corner in 5th. I find it keeps the car more stable compared to 4th. Bounce over the curb to take a downshift. Didn't really get all of that inside curb. I lost a bit of time through there. The exit was okay, but I wanted to be all over the inside curb on the right to really take a nice tight line and get a good exit. Anyway, through Senior, absolutely flat through here, no dramas whatsoever. And now into the very technical sector 3, down to 5th gear, and then try to get a late apex to get the drive and square up the corner beautifully, get the exit on point. Into this long off-camber left, get a late apex again to get the exit. You can see we find a load of time in those last 2 corners. And now the final 2 remain, stay nice and tight through the entirety of the penultimate corner to open up the final right-hand hairpin, and we've pretty much nailed the final sector. We gained time in every single corner, which was great. Up to the line we go, and it's going to be P15, and for now we split the Alfa Romeos, and we are through with, of course, faster cars yet to set a lap, and unfortunately, once those faster cars did set a lap, they knocked us out. So, yeah, Bottas with a 5-place grid drop, so he'll drop behind us in the race. We'll start from 18th. And we were pretty much half a second off from getting through, which is a bit of a punch in the nuts, I'm not going to lie. But the good thing, and the kind of saving grace, is if we have race pace, we're right in the thick of it and we're right in the mix, because that midfield, like I said, the whole field spread is kind of getting a lot tighter. Everyone is so close in that midfield pack. It's a really tight battle. So if we can just have a decent start and get ourselves into the race, you never know what could happen. So guys, qualifying done. Let's move into the main event and let's see if we can still score some decent points. We've done it last time in Silverstone. Let's hope to repeat those antics and hopefully have a decent race.
Welcome along to France, one of the great racing meccas, host of the world-famous Tour de France, and widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing in the late 1800s. How far we've come since then. As this year's race gets underway, it's time, of course, for the French Grand Prix. A lap of Paul Ricard then consists of 15 corners and a total length of around 3.6 miles. Drivers will need to position their cars carefully on the exit of the flat-out turn 10, ready for the double apex right-hander at 11. Watch out for potential overtaking action at the end of the start-finish straight and into the heavy braking zone of turn 8. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Russell, Ricciardo, Perez, Gasly and Esteban Ocon, Magnussen, Albon, Yuki Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher, Latifi, Vettel, Guan Yu Zhou and Martinez. Stroll and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. A warm welcome to Natalie Pinkham, who is beside me in the commentary box today. Now let's talk about Charles Leclerc. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
Well, there are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out will have boosted their confidence coming into this race.
Here we go then. Time for the race at France. P18 as I predicted in qualifying. No further penalties for anybody else. So we've got work to do, but I'm confident and I think we can do well. I'm pretty sure last season we had a good race here, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to have some positivity, and I think I want to see that from you guys in the comments down below in the predictions. So feel free to let me know what you think and then edit the comment later if you're right or wrong. But we're going to talk about setup. So we're going to start on the medium, move on to the hard. I was tempted to start on the hard tyre, but I'm going to start on the medium. I feel like the hard tyre is going to be the better race tyre, and I want that at the end. So yeah, that's going to be the plan for this one. Fuel-wise, 0.6 extra should be fine. Key thing though is tyre pressures I've gone a bit higher than usual. So if we scroll over, I've actually got +3 on the front, +5 on the rear. Might be a bit tricky on the medium, but on the hard that should be perfect. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be a tough race, but a fun race. I think right moves at the right time is going to be key here. The AI will have a lot of battles amongst themselves, so we just have to basically, a bit like Silverstone, just be smart with our racecraft and do the right thing at the right time. So yeah, let's get into it and let's fix this one and let's turn it around. Here we go. Time for the action here at Paul Ricard. Let's have a good race. Lights are on. And they're out. Oh, it's a bad start. I got a little bit too eager on the power there, trying to get the throttle down, and we spun the rears up pretty much instantly. Gonna try and get back on the outside here. That's the better line, which gives you then the inside. As we race down to the next corner at turn 3. Got a yellow. Can't overtake, but as always, the AI seem to be able to overtake. Careful, 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 careful. Who is the issue here? No one spun.
Okay, information on sights. Okay, they're out of this race.
Wow, never seen that before. That was an instant retirement, pretty much. I've never seen a retirement on lap 1 ever that early. That's a first for me. Anyway, Stroll trying to get through. We're gonna stop that from happening instantly. But Carlos Sainz, one of the heavy hitters out of the race, of course, throw that big upgrade package, looking very strong here this weekend. Here goes Stroll up the inside, leaving some space. We get a load of understeer there, and Stroll goes through. I feel like I'm on the back foot here, struggling a bit early doors. We'll go around the outside though. This is a great place to look for a pass. Joe getting a little bit crossed up and sideways there. Sonoda pits. I'm going to try and squeeze my way through. And just like that, after a bit of a chaotic first lap, we're P14. So, good start to the race. Good recovery, good response after getting overtaken there by Stroll and not really having the best of, initial starts to this race. But I still can't believe Sainz retired. That's the earliest I've ever seen a DNF. Literally, it must have been instant on the pit straight. That's crazy. I don't think we're going to get DRS on the cars ahead, which is a bit of a shame. They're just a bit too quick for me right now. Maybe on this lap, now that the DRS has been enabled, they'll probably turn their engines down. We may have a chance to catch them, but we need a little bit of a battle or something to cost them a bit of time. We'll just fall into my clutches a bit, but right now we don't have enough to close in. I've also used quite a big chunk of battery, so just going to focus on trying to keep Latifi out of range for now. But at the moment, the DRS effect is way too strong. The fuel has kind of broken up a little bit. There's a bit of a train ahead now, so we just need a bit of battling, a bit of wheel-to-wheel combat to drop them our way. But the 3 DRS zones right now is really hurting me. I just don't have pace to catch up. Keeping the cars behind, at bay, but just making no progress forwards. When they say you cannot out-train a bad diet? Well, this is the F1 edition, where you cannot outperform or outrace a DRS train. My god, we're just bleeding time. Latifi's slowly closing up that hard tyre now, getting up to speed, of course. The tyre wear starting to now get into this medium tyre. He'll be onto us soon. Yeah, this is really depressing. We need something to happen. They're literally all just following up ahead. It's just one big train with zero action, so we're just losing time. It's literally putting an end to our race. We need a safety car now to get anything out of this. It's literally become a boring one-dimensional race because of that DRS train, which is being led by one of the AlphaTauris, and it hasn't changed think that AlphaTauri would be out of battery by now, but clearly it can hold on. So yeah, really not ideal. Just a terrible recipe, this one, for not much we can do. It's been taken out of our hands, really. I'm trying. My pace is good. I'm in the low 33s every single lap, but it's not me where the buck stops with. I just can't really control these circumstances. Well, this is going to be like taking candy from a baby. We don't have the best straight line speed, to be fair. Bit of the opposite at Silverstone, where we had a bit of a cheat code. We're going to have to be on the other end of it this race, but we'll sit behind our TV, but we'll try to recharge the battery and get ready for the pit stop phase, but there's really not much we can do at this stage. There really isn't. It's all out of our hands. We need something else to happen, a VSC or something at the right time. Got a warning there. All of a sudden the TV has just taken off. I didn't get DRS in the pit straight, and I haven't got it here. He's just completely taken off. I've got no answer to his pace. Don't know where that was hiding, but Joe's going to get me now. I've got no battery to really fight this, so we're just going to have to concede position. That's insane. I'm really, really struggling all of a sudden. I don't have an answer. It's almost like the AI passed me and they just turn superhuman in terms of their pace. Joe's trying to drop me, and look at Bottas. Absolutely flying. I've got no straight line speed to counter that. I'll just take the apex super aggressively. But I really don't have an answer. I'm actually using more battery now than I was when I was in front and I didn't have DRS, which makes no sense. I don't see a positive outcome in this race at the minute. I really think we're struggling, and the fact that we're bottom in the performance chart is being perfectly reflected in the race performance so far. Oh, that's a really bad gear to lose. This race is falling apart. Oh, that's a really bad one.
The transmission is significantly damaged. We're down a gear, I'm afraid.
Oh god, what? Really, really just... I don't have an answer, guys. Literally the worst gear you can lose is 5th gear around here. 6th is too high, 4th is too short for most of these corners. And then 6th gives me just so much lag on the turbo. Anyway, we'll pit and hopefully that fixes our issues a little bit. Going for the hard tyre. I don't really have a solution here, unfortunately. We're just going to have to pray for a safety car later on and something might be able to happen, but we just don't have anything at this race. Really surprising. I was doing so well and then suddenly around lap 10 it just started to really struggle for some reason. Pace started to disappear. You know, once the AI got me, they just started to pull away. Didn't get any luck with that big train of cars ahead. Just didn't bat at any point.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Still haven't got 5th gear, so this is going to be a problem. I mean, everything here is 5th gear. There we go. Now we've got it back, but oh god, we're in big trouble. Notice how far behind Bottas we are. How close he was in the pits, literally less than a lap ago, and look how much we've lost on the outlap alone. As the upgrades pile onto these cars, the way co-masters make their games, the AI become more and more just untouchable in certain departments. And they were always strong on the outlap on cold tyres, but they're getting just ridiculously overpowered now in terms of how much I lose in a pit stop phase. I lose on the in-lap and I lose on the outlap. It's literally impossible to gain on them. Like an undercut or an overcut really isn't worth it unless they're battling. There's no gain in either one. But yeah, we've lost 4 seconds to Bottas like that. Literally like that. Oh dear. May have to call this one in early. I'll give it a few more laps. Obviously, we'll see if we get a safety car, but I feel like we ain't got a chance this race. This is, I don't know what's happened, but literally in less than 5 or just about 5 laps, the race is completely turned on its head. I was so comfortable and doing so well, and then the AI just said, right, we're going to put the burners on. Got a retirement up ahead, or something's happened. So that's the best about the race. No safety car. We haven't had one in a while, to be fair, and that trend's going to continue. Yeah, he was comfortably P14, and now that's all gone to crap, so yeah. Car is so unstable at times. The rear end is still a problem with this car. Ever since the very first race, I just have no confidence with the back end, which is a devastating thing compared to the AI, because they're perfect when it comes to the back end. So it's literally the worst possible matchup. I'm not even able to beat my personal best. I'm consistently half second off per lap of my personal best. I haven't actually set one on this fresh tyre, which I don't know what's happened, but the pace is just completely gone. Ocon just did a 31.0.
Currently, the fastest lap is at 1:31.0.
Yeah, we're 2.4 off Ocon. What is happening in this race? I mean, look at the gap to Stroll. I was ahead of him so comfortably. I don't have an answer. I'm pushing flat out. Okay, maybe not 100% because I'm ranting, but you get the point. I've been trying to push, but it can't be engine wear. Surely it's only the gearbox that's gone. My control electronics is a bit second hand, but I mean, it's not that bad. I just don't understand what the issue is. I'm done. I'm not gonna continue this race. Something went wrong. I don't have an answer. The AI are just different level. I don't have an answer. I might be wrong, but I swear we had a good race here last season. I don't know what's happened. This is the second time it's happened now where we had a good race last year, and this year the performance has just been puzzling. I think it was Baku. I don't know.
We witnessed some great battles around Paul Ricard today then, and they've taken a fantastic win. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we could talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those that we've witnessed today.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
Anyway, a race to forget. Really just, I don't have an answer. That was a baffling race. I just hope things get better. Although, to be fair, Austria next, which isn't a great track, and it's a sprint race as well, so Anyway, Leclerc wins and dominates in France, although to be fair, only won by a second, but got the fastest lap, looked pretty controlling the whole way through. Verstappen second, Norris on the podium, Perez fourth ahead of Hamilton and Ricciardo. Russell, Ocon, Gasly, Magnussen are the final cars in the points. So Alpine, AlphaTauri, Haas all score points, but it's not very many, so there's no big issue. And then Schumacher out the top 10, Albon as well, and then Stroll P16, and we retire with Seb and Sainz. So yeah, standings, still 8th, gap to Hamilton now, 15 points, a bit more realistic. Ricciardo 12 adrift as he overtakes Ocon. In the Constructors, P5 equal on points with Alpine, so we're still ahead even with that disaster race, and Haas 13 adrift. So yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there. A race to forget. If you still enjoyed it, then leave a like and subscribe. That's part of these career modes, guys. We're going to have good races, bad races, ups and downs. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next one and pretend this never happened. So yeah, guys, just for watching. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Check out the 2 videos on screen, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully our form improves. But guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see you soon.